All right, guys, today's one of the moving days. You can see there's tanks that are starting to empty up around me. There's tanks setting up out here in the family room. We got to start getting some stuff taken care of. Some fish are moved, some fish are gone, but we got to take care of moving some more fish around, get some stuff over there so we can get ready to do that flooring. Stay tuned. Now, if you're as fascinated as I am by the incredible diversity of life that surrounds us, then you belong here with the madman. I make videos on all facets of nature, from aquariums and vivariums, DIY projects, all sorts of unique plants, reptiles, isopods, insects, and arachnids. And I try to dig a little bit deeper into the science behind it all. So if you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button, ringing that little notification bell, and you'll always be kept up to date when I upload new content. Now, as mentioned prior, I've been growing up this little colony of these Zophophorus Montezuma. These are not far from the wild ones. These are originally through Rusty Wessel, who collected it himself. And this is the swordtail, as you've seen in the video, King of Swords. They get that monstrous sword. And I wanted to have a nice big colony of these for when the 12-foot tank was done. And whether or not they'll go in there or not, they're just great fish to have in the fish room. And normally for swordtails or most live bears, you'd want to have a good growth of plant growth so that the offspring has some shelter. But truth be told, the Montezuma swords are actually non-predaceous. They do not eat their own young. So maybe I could put, if I wasn't changing everything up, this tank would be great for maybe one of the other Gadaids or one of the other more voracious type live bears. But these guys are fine, so let's get started. Let's do a time lapse. We'll start catching them. Well, I guess it's as good as time as any, for a nice shameless plug on the new merch. This design, the May the Fish Be With You design, it's available in my Mad Aquarist Teespring shop as well as in my Redbubble shop. Should you want one, it's there. There's some other designs from other things too. And of course, true to form, as we're getting ready, we got one set moved, we got them in the other tank, they're looking great. The next step was to go and start moving the stuff out here, and as true to form, as expected, it's always going to happen when you don't want it to happen. But not only is one species breeding in this tank, but two species are herding fry right now. This striking and unique little cichlid hails from Guatemala, and they're a wonderful addition to a planted aquarium. Now, most Central American peoples think are real rough and tumble and big bruisers, or Russiospinacisma, other than when it's defending its fry against other live bears, other cichlids. That's about the only time it shows any aggression whatsoever. One of the unique features of this species is that it actually needs plants to be able to breed, and it actually lays its eggs on the actual plants. They make exceptional parents with their unique cryptic breeding dress. Now, this is what they would normally look like. Subtle tones, all these beautiful little spots, very different from most Central American species. And this species has not been in the hobby for a long time. And that one of my very early videos, an unboxing videos, when I received these fish, and they were a gift from some dear friends, Alan Rawlings and Karen Haas. And they got their fish from Mr. Michael Lubella, who's been breeding this species for years down near Tampa. Very excited to have this fish in my collection. And now with all the moving and the changing and everything that's going to go on, as I'm actually, now that I have offspring of these guys, these ones are actually the adults, are going to go to my good friend Ray. And he's going to take care of them for a little while and play with them. And hopefully he'll be able to breed them as well. And we can get more and more of these beautiful species out to more people. So let's just enjoy watching the parents herding their fry for a few minutes. And I'll show you the second species that's also breeding. Couple of minutes, whatever. They're cool fish. Thought I was going to let you just cut out there and go without seeing what the next one. The next one's way cooler. Wait till you see the color. The next one's coming up. It's almost there. You can almost taste it. Any guesses on what it could be? Now on the other side of the tank, these ones are harder to miss. These are my Kryptoheros altoflavus renovation, and they're a Panamanian species, very closely allied with Nanoloteus. They're another dwarf of the convict types, but this one, when it goes into its breeding dress, is this beautiful bright canary yellow, and the male gets that opalescence on the operculum or gill cover, and that beautiful bandit black mask that they get is so striking. Now this is in the far back right-hand corner with that little clay pot, that little breeding pot or a pistol hut or whatever you want to call it. That's what they use this time. And this is how I actually caught them, because most of the time they're all tucked in behind the rocks. Now these guys are a little bit more aggressive than the Russiospinacisma. So in the 4-foot tank, they've each been able to find their place, but because the top of the tank is literally covered with tarantulas and house plants and things for some of the builds that are coming up, it's just being staged there. I've kind of been choking out this tank for a lot of the light. So the Anubias and the Bucephalandras, they're doing okay, but most of the other plants look in absolute abysmal shape. But just wonderful, wonderful parents. It's a beautiful surprise. Both this species and the prior one are both CARES listed species. They're both critically endangered species and need our help as active hobbyists to make sure that these species have a chance of survival, not only in the trade, but in the wild as well. So if you do have the ability to get a tank for these, mine, I was very fortunate, came as a gift brought back from Louisville, Kentucky from my dear friend, Mr. Russie Wessel, and I hope to be able to pass on some offspring to some hobbyists near and closer to me. Fascinating fish. So I don't mind these kind of setbacks. Don't know what we're going to do or how quickly we'll be able to get back to on schedule or what we need to do, but these kind of setbacks are a blessing. So I guess it's going to be a bit of a delay, or do we risk moving them? I don't know. Well, we'll see right now. But for it, that's it. We're going to stop for today, guys. We got those other guys moved. We got these guys moved. Lots of chaos going on here, but we're starting to make some progress. So as always, my friends, thank you for watching. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.